as we get ready for Cowboy Ryan Karl, undefeated, taking on the veteran fighter Luis Solis. And we take a look at the Corona tail of the tape. These super lightweights scheduled for 8 rounds. Both men 24 years of age. Solis is the taller fighter, has the reach advantage, and he has more experience than does Karl in the ring. How much will that matter? We shall see. 10-point must system, no standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. Only the ref can stop the fight official after 4 completed rounds. To officially meet him, let's go to arena announcer Ray Flores.
Ladies and gentlemen, live on NBCSN from San Antonio, Texas. Premier Boxing Champions now features 8 rounds in the super lightweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the black with the white trim. His professional record, 15 wins, 7 losses, 4 draws, including 13 victories coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Playa del Carmen, Mexico. Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, Luis Mueca Solis. And across the ring, his opponent fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the white with the black trim. As a professional, he is perfect. 11 bouts, 11 victories. 8 of those coming by way of knockouts. Fighting out of Milano, Texas, by way of Houston, Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting Ryan Cowboy Karl.
You could tell from the applause who's the hometown guy. It's the redheaded kid. They said that few people have been misled by that baby face in the amateur ranks. Really got the attention of some people when he finished with a bronze medal in the 2013 U.S. National Amateurs. He won 108 and lost 20 as an amateur, and he caught the attention of one Mr. Shields.
Yeah, just a tremendous amateur background, Kenny. Whenever you have that many fights and you participate in that many tournaments, you can't help but learn a little bit about boxing. And, you know, I was impressed with Karl the first time I saw him.
And here they go, scheduled for 8. It's been an inactive streak for Ryan. This is the first time that he's fought at 210 days. November 28th was his last fight. Cowboy says, though, he's had a good training camp getting ready for this.
Nice jab to the body by Ryan a second ago. I like to see him stabbing that punch up and down. You can tell by his stance he looks to set up the right hand. So, nice right hand by Solis.
Well, Solis, this is his 27th pro fight, the 12th for Karl. The kind of fighter perhaps he needs, who's a veteran's been around a little more than he has. Maybe a little deceptive, too, that 15-7-4 record that Solis brings in.
Yeah, he can be deceptive. You know, you never know how a guy like Solis was matched. A lot of these tough Hispanic kids from across the border, they get brought over and matched very tough, and their records can be very misleading. So there's going to be, you know, a nice little learning process for Ryan. And
we caught a smile from Solis without even the use of the translator yesterday, which was you, BJ, when we asked about coming in and fighting in somebody else's hometown. He seems very used to it, always being the underdog guy coming in.
Yeah, he's been very comfortable. He's been brought in as the opponent his entire career. He landed a nice left hook a second ago on Karl. So you see, you know, both guys still trying to establish themselves. Karl trying to set up the jab, Solis trying to time him with counter punches.
Solis saying he got a little bit of a punch behind the head from Karl that time in the break. Karl now getting more aggressive with his jab.
My best advice for Solis whenever he gets hit behind the head is don't look at the referee. Land a punch behind the head for yourself, and maybe he'll stop doing it.
Nice right by Karl, and Karl follows it up with a combination. Nice. His best punches.
It was a nice hook right hand. He shot that hook, and Solis really reached with his right hand and left him vulnerable for that straight right hand of Karl.
They tie up once again. Karl coming in, takes a straight left, but follows it up.
See, when Karl punches, though, he really drops he drops in his glute region. He really drops down and gets a lot of power. He swings those hips and uses those legs to really make sure he gets maximum leverage. And it doesn't look like he's swinging hard, but he is, because he's getting the legs completely involved.
Referee telling him too to watch for punch behind the head that time. What Solis had complained about earlier in this round. Final seconds, round 1, scheduled for 8.
Nice right uppercut by Solis and good body shots.
Solis, a solid first round coming in here as the underdog to that man, Cowboy Ryan Karl. The pride of Milano, Texas, which is located about 3 hours, less than that, maybe away from here. Population 417. On fight nights, when Dad Daryl and Mom Katie leave, it's 415. And they're both here tonight. There's Katie, a registered nurse, who's been very supportive of her son's boxing career, which started as a preteen. His Daryl, his dad, a construction worker, would take him around to the fights. Katie said, I got to get involved. She did. She knows a lot about it.
Anytime a guy's losing weight like that, look, you know he's going to be weak in the body, but you got to stay there, okay? But do it behind the jab.
See some nice action in the first round, a nice right hand on the temple of Karl landing on Solis. Both fighters had good moments in that first round. Karl landing some nice long straight punches, Solis landing some nice counter shots.
And we heard from the corner there, Ronnie Shields giving instructions to Karl. Back at it here for round 2, these super lightweights. You were impressed with his mother, Katie, yesterday at the fighter meeting, how much she was aware of what's going on in the boxing world, and you coming up as a great amateur yourself, fighting 2 or 3 times a day in tournaments. She knew all about it, staying on weight, the whole thing. Quite impressive.
Yes, she was. She said, you know, when you go to these amateur tournaments, praying, do we fight in the night session, do we fight in the afternoon session, making weight, going straight to the weigh-ins after your fight the night previous. And, it's just nice to see a mother so involved in the career of her son. There's a lot of emotion and a lot of love there, so it's nice to see a tight-knit family like that.
She looks on intently, gets nervous every fight, as you can imagine, but she's also aware of what's going on. She doesn't blink too much. She keeps an eye on how everything's unfolding.
Nice right hand by Solis a second ago. But Karl's got to be careful here not to walk in too much. Taunt him, feint him, use that jab. Don't just walk into Solis' trap. Nice right hand by Karl.
Jake Donovan unofficially in that first round gave it to Solis, 10-9. Gave me the coin toss. Maybe a couple of good rights there by Solis swayed him a little bit.
And it was a close round, but I think in Texas, Karl might get the benefit of the doubt, but either way, it was a close round.
Are you saying?
Yes. That's exactly what I'm saying, Kenny. I've seen some good decisions for Texas fighters in Texas. Close first round, though. Both guys getting some good shots in.
And Solis, he said he'd not seen Karl fight, but then again, he rarely sees who he's going to fight.
Right.
He doesn't do scouting reports. He shows up and adapts as the fight progresses.
Right. And Karl's 11-0 with 8 knockouts. He's still got a lot to learn, but tonight he's in a fight with a game guy. He's got experience. He's coming forward with his hands up. He's got to figure out how to break this kid down.
And we talk about rounds. He may get in some tonight. He's only been past the 4th round. Karl has twice, and that's been his last 2 fights. The last one ending in a 5th round KO.
Nice left jab and nice right hand by Karl. He's doing some good work now, and he's making some nice adjustments in the 2nd round and able to land a lot more punches on Solis.
Getting more busy is Karl. Solis slides his left into the body. Karl working the body again. Nice right. Final seconds, round 2. Ryan Karl closing this round out strong.
Nice right uppercut by Karl at the end of the round. Did some really good work in that last round, Kenny. You see Mom checking in, making sure, seeing what's going on. Everything's all right with Karl. Karl landed some nice combinations, takes a good body shot there, but then comes back with his own shot. Beautiful left jab by Karl. Mom approves.
And there you see the man that got Ryan Karl started. That's Dad Darrell in the construction business. Over in the corner, was his trainer in his amateur career, and then obviously had the chance to go with one of the greats in Ronnie Shields. And there was a no-doubter who's going to become the trainer as his professional career continued to develop.
I think it's great that his dad started him off and took him through the amateurs. And now he's getting a lot of good pro experience from Ronnie and his father, and they're both combining to take care of Ryan Karl. So he's put a lot of pressure on him.
Good shots.
He jumped right out, and Karl was trying to unload combinations, and Solis obliged him. Said, "Okay, listen, you want to stand in the middle of the ring and trade? I'll fight you in the phone booth."
Jake Donovan, how do you see the fight?
Well, my scorecard might not be a Texas size card, but I got it even 19-19. First round was very close. I thought Solis landed a couple more cleaner shots to give him the round. Ryan Karl definitely made the adjustments in round 2. The busier fighter landed the more telling blows, 19-19 through 2.
And Solis probably thought Karl was getting a little too comfortable as he ended the second round, BJ, because he wasted no time in picking up the pace in round 3.
Nice straight right hand by Karl a second ago. You saw him do that double jab and a straight right hand. I'd like to see him come back with some body shots after that, Kenny. After you hit your opponent in the head, it takes him a second to kind of do readjust himself and leaves his body wide open.
Solis tags him with the right.
And at that range right there, it's going to be very difficult for Solis to get inside on Karl. That was also a good shot.
Wipes it off a slip.
He hit him with a nice right uppercut though and hurt him, and he just hurt him with another right hand right there.
With good power punches.
He's still hurt. I don't care if the referee ruled it a knockdown or not. He's in some trouble here, and Karl will be well advised to step up and sink some nice shots into Solis.
It was a good punch. The man went down on his knee and they wipe it off. It was a slip.
It was kind of delayed. I mean, he hit him with a good shot. He was definitely hurt, but then he was pushed down, but he was definitely affected by the right hand before he went down. Solis got to be careful not to load up here because he's taking some big shots now and he's trying to do anything he can to keep Karl off him, but it doesn't look like it's working too well.
Karl working the body well, now going up top. Ryan Karl, he has 8 knockouts among his 11 victories. And he's showing some power here in this third round.
Yeah, he is, Kenny, but I'd like to see him get back to that jab. Use that jab, set up the right hand, and then dig the body instead of just walking right to Solis and fighting him on even turns. He's got the advantages. He's got more weapons in his tool belt, so he needs to use those weapons.
Final seconds, round 3. Good shot by Karl, and Solis is down. Ryan Karl shooting in and knocking down Solis in the final seconds of this round. By far, he was the most powerful fighter in that round, and then he closes it out strong as the seconds were ticking down. Ryan Karl unloads, and the left sends Solis to the canvas.
Every time you hit him, you hurt him, but I want to finish him down there.
Some nice action from Karl in the last round. You see him using that left jab to set up his combinations, picking his spots and really looking for opportunities. Scored a nice knockdown in that last round as well, Kenny, with a nice combination, a nice hook after the right hand, not looking for one punch at a time.
Very strong round for Ryan Karl. We go into the 4th. Cowboy Karl trying to stay unbeaten, 11-0 coming in here.
Nice body shot by Solis.
Good shot on the right side there by Solis. He dug into that left side with that right hand.
But I like the temperament of Karl. Right when he got hit with it, he landed a couple short rights of his own. It's good stuff.
Well, he is a cowboy, after all.
Gotta be careful. I can think of another fighter off the top of my head that's pretty dang good, and he's got red hair as well, so don't look too deep into it.
And that last round, unofficially 10-8 with that knockdown. Jake scoring it for Karl, who now continues to show power here and got the tempo changed around as we go into this 4th round.
Ronnie Shields told him, listen, you're hurting him with everything you touch him with, but I want you to finish down here. And he pointed to the stomach, so let's see if Karl can dig in there and land those combinations and finish the body and get Solis out of here.
That's what he's looking to do now. Just misses with an uppercut, continues to go, and Solis slides on the right. Solis, as we've seen, he'll stand toe-to-toe. You want a phone booth fight? Dial it up. That's what he's ready for.
And you see the temperament of Solis. He'll sit there. His hands don't completely cover his head. He's got him at the base of his chin, though. And that's because he wants to protect himself from those body shots of Karl. And at the head shots, he's just going to keep his eyes open and move his head instead of trying to put his hands up and leave his body vulnerable.
Redness on the side of the left eye of Solis. A little welt developing there.
And these are the spots, Kenny, where Karl's going to pick his shots. Don't just let his hands go. Really pick his shots and set some good combinations up and around the guard of Solis.
You get the sense that Karl trying to measure it and end this thing, and he sticks him with the left uppercut and then follows up.
Nice left uppercut on the inside by Karl. Short left uppercut. And the nose of Solis is really starting to bleed now.
Solis is taking some punishment here in this round.
He is, and I think in this fourth round you're seeing Ryan Karl, the disciplined offensive attack, body, head, up the middle, around the sides, it's starting to break Solis down. You can see here in the fourth round.
And Solis slides in a left. He got him with that. Just when you think he's out, Solis is able to slide another punch in. We've seen it before.
He just landed a nice left hook on Karl as well, because Karl stood a little too straight up with that uppercut, and then he just got hooked another one, Kenny. We got a fight starting to break out here in this fourth round.
And Solis, he's tough. He's been 8 or more rounds 7 times in his career, so he doesn't get put away easily.
And this is the type of experience that Karl needs in his career. He's 11-0. I remember when I was 11-0. I had an ESPN fight against a kid who was 12-1. He took me all 8 rounds. I wasn't happy with it, but I learned a lot in the fight.
Karl getting ready to go into the 5th round for the 2nd time in his career as this one ticks down and they swing to the ground.
No punches.
Protéjase mucho, ¿ok? Mire, remate con la izquierda, ahora que cabecee y busque el gancho, doble, abajo, arriba.
Fíjate, mírame, el dolor no está
And you
ahí,
see
¿ok?
why when you're in a clinch with a good Mexican fighter, why you don't want to stand straight up. Karl standing straight up gets hit with a nice left hook right on the point of the chin. Good shot from Solis, and more good work. Another shot, nice left hook on the temple. Karl standing too straight up and not dropping down with those punches. Ken, you got to get underneath him.
And Solis coming back out to complaining over there that his right hand was sore in the corner. We'll see what happens as he comes back out for this 5th against Cowboy Ryan Karl. Karl with some strong rounds now. He continues to build on that momentum. The man in the white trunks who's still unbeaten at 11-0. He's quite the crowd favorite.
Nice right hand by Solis a second ago. You know, Karl had a very nice 4th round, Kenny. I think we can all agree that he dominated the round, but we saw Solis starting to break down in that round. So let's see how Karl continues to apply pressure, or if Solis is able to rally back and get himself back in this fight.
Let's check in now with Jake Donovan. Jake, how do you see this?
I have Ryan Karl winning the last 3 rounds. I have him up 39-36. Solis is certainly having his moments. I mean, that's the joy of watching Ryan Karl in action. He can win rounds. He's still going to take punches, but he's in control right now. He's up 39-36.
Thank you, Jake. And we've seen the power from Karl trying to work the body more. They were telling him he did that last round. The question is going to be Solis in that right hand, how much it's bothering him, as he was talking about it in his corner.
And if I'm in the corner of Karl, I'm going to go right into the right hand of Solis. If I know it's injured, I'm going to move that way and take that away as an offensive threat. And that's going to create much more offense for me.
Power punches, you see, dominating this is Karl. And the last 2 rounds especially, including a knockdown there, Karl has really landed the power punches. This is only the 2nd time he's been to the 5th round. He had a 5th round knockout against Ken Alvarez.
I like what I'm seeing from Karl.
Right by Solis. You wonder where the right is. He stunned Karl with that one.
Standing straight up, Kenny, he caught him. You can't stand straight up after the combinations. You got to make a defensive move. Drop under it, prairie catch. He paid a big price there, and he's still hurt.
And Solis knows that the Cowboy's just trying to hang on right now. Karl's still wobbling.
He needs to be careful not to try to lunge back in. Give himself a little time. When he gets close to Solis, tie him up. Make the referee break him, and then circle a couple times and try to get your head back.
So how much fans in that corner, they're talking about his right hand was hurting. Are they playing a little possum here in Texas? That was his biggest right so far.
Well, check me, Kenny, because he sure blasted him with that right hand, and Karl was definitely hurt. It's the first time we've seen him, really visibly wobbled like that. And seems like Solis has lost the momentum from that punch, but showed he can hurt him.
That might be the biggest punch that Karl's taken in his pro career so far.
Biggest punch I've seen him take, Kenny.
Certainly the biggest one tonight.
But, there's lessons that Karl has to learn. We've talked about it. He stands straight up in the clinches. He gets hit with the left hooks on the temple. He's got to drop down. You take the leverage out of those punches of your opponent.
Final seconds of round 5, and Luis Solis delivering his biggest shot with that right onto Ryan Karl that had him shaken up. And now Solis talking to him a little bit.
You got caught with a wild punch. Okay? And listen, you got to keep your hands up, son, and you got to start moving your head. Okay? Look, can you see when you hit him with the jab? It's so easy to hit the guy with the jab. It's a simple punch, Cowboy. Look, keep your distance right here with the jab. When you see that wild right hand coming, bring your hands up and roll it. You can come back at a whoop and then it right here. Okay? Come on, man. It's going to work now.
Number 6 Applebee's corner look at.
Okay?
Ronnie Shields screaming out to him, listen, we got to take control of this fight, but we see what happens here. Karl standing straight up. Solis finally putting together combinations and finally able to damage his opponent. Karl showed a good chin there, able to stay up, but definitely affected by the punch, and Solis won the round.
Round 6. Ryan Karl has never been this far. Solis is used to it. He's been here at least 8 times. And Solis coming out strong, and a good left by Karl.
Karl can't forget to use his jab right here. Don't let Solis walk straight in. And you know what? Like I said, we talked about this in the beginning of the fight. My toolbox has more tools in it than yours. So why am I going to go and stand right in front of Solis like that and neglect all the tools that I have? Use your jab. Use your right hand. Stay on the outside. Make him earn anything he gets.
We talked about here in the Lone Star State, seeing some guys hoping to become rising stars like Ryan Karl. He paid attention to what Ronnie Shields was telling him in the corner, coming back for this round after getting whacked good by Solis in that last round.
And it's just interesting to me, and this is a lesson, it's a very valuable lesson that Ryan Karl is going to have to learn. He has to utilize what his talents and what his abilities are. He can't give those things away to his opponent, because that's what I feel like he's doing right now.
And Solis getting that last round unofficially on Jake's scorecard.
Solis landed some nice punches in that round, Kenny. And we were just talking about how Karl was starting to break him down, but that one punch changed it all up and put the momentum back in Solis' favor. And maybe more importantly than anything, gave him the confidence to believe like he can sweep these last few rounds and win this fight or maybe score a knockout. That's the punch we need from Karl. Stiff left jab, off his back leg. Don't fall in. Because when he falls in, it gives Solis opportunities to bang him to the body and hit him with his left hooks and those right hands.
And BJ, like you pointed out a couple of rounds ago, it seemed to disappear for a while.
And it's important also that Karl can make Solis miss. When he just catches the glove, he catches the punches with his gloves, it gives Solis a chance to come back with another combination. When he makes him miss, it completely makes him reset. Nice right hand by Karl. And have to find Karl over again completely all new.
Karl delivering some nice punches here to the side of the face of Solis. And his lip is busted. Lost his mouthpiece in the process, gets it back. See the blood there, a welt on the left side, just off the left eye of Solis. It's been there for a couple of rounds. So Karl delivering some punches everywhere, including knocking out his mouthpiece now. Ryan Karl coming back strong after receiving that big right from Solis in the last round.
And once again, Kenny, the referee immediately, once the mouthpiece came out, I was like, what happened? He immediately grabbed the mouthpiece and took him to the corner. I don't know if there's a different rule in the state of Texas about mouthpieces, but anywhere else, you got to wait till there's a lull in the action. So, once again.
They tie up here. Final seconds, round 6. Karl trying to stay undefeated against the very game Solis here in San Antonio. There's the corner, Ryan Karl, the 24-year-old from Milano, Texas. There's his wife, Madison, and 2-year-old son, Jace. And when Daddy has gone to work, Jace knows what's going on. And so Madison puts on the headgear and Jace puts on the gloves, and there they are tonight. Cheering Dad on. And Madison, like the whole family, she knew she was marrying a boxer. They follow and stay with him the whole time. Meanwhile, they're checking now on Luis Solis' corner. He is late in coming out for this bell.
He's ready to quit the fight. He thought the fight was over after the 6th round. That's why he was touching gloves with Karl. He didn't know there was another round, so they were having to urge him to get off the stool. He thought he was done.
And surprising for Solis, he has fought 8 or more rounds 7 times. So he's certainly used to going past 6. But this is new territory for Karl.
But it's different, Kenny, when he only thought he was going 6, and only to find out after he did the 6 and exerted all his energy, he's got 2 more rounds to go, and 2 more rounds of punishment as well.
Karl unofficially getting that last round, that 58-55, according to Jake Donovan.
Nice body shot by Solis a second ago. Kenny, you saw Karl overextend with that right hand. Solis timed it perfectly and dropped that left hook into the side of Ryan Karl.
His wife Madison looks on, and a nail biter right now for 2-year-old son Jace watching Dad in action.
I think Jace is too worried about what's going on, but you know, obviously his wife sees that Karl's in a real fight, and hopefully he's going to do something to pull it out here in his last couple of rounds.
Well, he talked yesterday in the fighter meeting about being tested. That's what he wants. He said he's in this for the long run. He's hoping naturally that he gets a shot at the title someday down the road, and he realizes a guy like Solis, who didn't know a lot about him, except he had 26 pro fights coming in. And you see the punches thrown. Karl has been throwing more, but a nice one there, a left landed by Solis.
Nice right hand again by Solis. Once again, Karl just walking in, not using his left jab. He's standing in front of Solis too much and just staring. He's got to use his offensive weapons.
Now he moves in, gets the right in.
Nice combination.
Again, combo is very nice for Karl.
And Solis is falling into a trap. He's thinking if he just ducks his head down, he'll get out of the way of the punches. And you know, Karl's readjusting his shots and hitting him on the side and the top of the head. Those still hurt.
Solis tying up Karl. Ryan Karl waiting. And we heard Ronnie Shields telling about basically taking nothing for granted now the rest of the way in this fight. And Karl again getting another burst of energy here late in this round. Good combination. Final seconds, round 7. Ryan Karl trying to stay unbeaten. Going to the 8th for the first time in his career. To read the verdict, arena announcer Ray Flores.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 8 rounds, we go to the scorecards. Here are your score totals. Judge at ringside, Glenn Crocker scores the bout 80-71. Ruben Carrion 79-72. And Wilfredo Esperon sees the bout 78-73. For your winner by unanimous decision and still undefeated, Ryan Cowboy Karl.
Wife Madison, mother Katie, all cheering on. The Cowboy is still undefeated. Ryan Karl now going to 12-0 for the first time in his career, going 8 rounds against the very tough veteran Luis Solis. We take a look now at the Motel 6 total punches. Karl landed the most. He threw over 600, hitting at a 33% clip. Solis had a couple of big punches, but it was dominated by Karl, who had a knockdown as well. He has another victory, and he's standing by with BJ.
Thanks, Kenny. I'm standing by with the winner, Ryan Karl. Great performance, Ryan. You win 8 rounds for the first time tonight. How did you feel?
It was different. I had a little bit of pressure. My first co-main event and everything. I handled it a little bit differently than I would like. But only go up from here, keep improving.
You came out, you were doing some really nice things. You had good control of the jab, with your jab in the beginning rounds. He seemed like he caught you with a big punch in the 4th or 5th round. Was that your first time ever being hurt as a professional?
Yeah, it was, and I was just being a little bit sloppy. He just kind of clipped me a little bit, but, I recovered fast. Wasn't a big deal. He weighed in. He's a pretty big guy. But, we made it work.
Okay, we got Dad standing by right here. Now, Dad, how did you feel about Ryan's performance tonight? Was there anything you'd like to see him do a little better, or what were you pleased with?
I want to see him move his feet a little bit better and jab from the outside a little more and just be a little more patient. He's rushing in just a little bit and got caught with a punch. We don't want to see that.
He wants me to listen to the corner this time.
Yeah, listen to him.
Listen to because and how do you think Mom puts up with all that? How is Mom able to handle us from the corner? Looks like she's holding herself together pretty good over there. How does she do that?
She just she just holds it together. She's a great person. She just loves her son, and you know what? She just is out there cheering for him.
She couldn't be anywhere else,
Couldn't be nowhere else.
Mom biting her lip the entire time. Ryan Karl putting on a great performance.